Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And we are from Club Sapphire.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, and you look very innocent today.
Oh, do I?
Yes, that's
That's new for me, right?
It kind of is on these videos. It's like you got the spring.
Well, spring is sort of trying
making me sprung.
Well, you do love a nice sundress.
I do.
So,
most guys do.
yeah,
Most guys do.
I put this one on at the store and your eyes went boing. I was like, all right, I'm buying it.
It wasn't just my eyes that made that sound, which is awkward in a store.
That is awkward in a store.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
control that.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's good. You got the colors on your hair that's very Easter-like as well. And
That's what I was going
that's
for.
right. That's right.
Like, do me up like an Easter egg.
Yeah, do her like an Easter egg. So that'll be your come on line tonight when you're meeting guys.
Do me like an Easter egg, baby. Put your Easter egg into my basket.
Sure. Dip me in your I don't know. Okay. I got nothing. Wow. So we wanted to talk about an email that we had received from a couple that was brand new to the lifestyle. They've never played with anyone before.
Never played with anyone. They're just kind of in the discussion phase, getting all the information, trying to figure out what they're into, what would their rules be, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Which honestly, a lot of the people that watch these videos are in that same boat, where they're thinking about getting in. They want to see that we're not freaky, weird. Well, we're freaky, but we're not. Well, we're weird too. Okay, that was a terrible example. Yeah. That we're fairly normal people. How about that? That works. Sure, why not? As are most of the people that are in the lifestyle. They're actually pretty regular folks, except they like to have sex with other people as often as they can. But this couple, they don't have any kids, and they never want any kids.
Right.
And so their concern was the worst thing they could possibly think of, which was someone accidentally getting pregnant.
Right.
And
for them, it wasn't just her getting pregnant. She was saying that neither one of them have had any like vasectomy or anything like that. She hasn't had a tubal ligation. So, but she's got an IUD, and like they are very careful.
Sure.
Their concern was, what if not that she's going to get pregnant, but what if the partner gets pregnant?
If he got
gets
someone else
pregnant. So that was, both were concerns of theirs, but they felt like we can protect ourselves on our end. How do we know if the other people are protecting themselves? And then how do you...
Well, the first answer is you don't really know what the situation is on the other end.
Unless you have a conversation.
Yes, that's true. That's true. You can. Sometimes that conversation, sometimes it won't. But honestly, since condoms are just are the regular form of birth control, and from a safety perspective that people use in lifestyle, that I don't think we've really ever had a conversation with another couple saying, or I'll say to the other girl, so are you on the pill or something like that.
Yeah,
that conversation has never happened, and I can't really imagine that it would.
Yeah.
Mainly because a condom is used, and so that's just kind of the safety net, no pun intended. Sorry, I made myself laugh.
That's about it.
Sorry. But that's generally as far as it goes, as far as that type of thing is concerned. So that conversation has never happened. So if that's the case where you don't really know, then it's really more about you protecting yourself in that situation.
Right.
Or the couple protecting themselves.
I don't think having a conversation with a potential couple that's so serious of, here's our checklist of, we won't get pregnant, we're going to protect ourselves. If you get pregnant, you must do the following or abort or whatever. Like, can you imagine trying to have that conversation? And I just don't think that it's really necessary. If that's the way you want to go, like, my thinking behind this question is, are they wanting to not use condoms? Is that what's stoking this fear, like making them so fearful? Are they just so afraid that he's going to be using a condom and it's going to break?
Okay.
Is that their, like, why is it such a concern?
Well, okay, so the best way to answer that would really to give our story in that situation. Okay, so before we got on lifestyle, we had our kids, and we were done having kids. We didn't want more kids ever. And so when we had our second child, you immediately had your tubal ligation done, and so you could not get pregnant by me again. And at the time, it was it's easier to snip a guy, but we just kind of agreed that was the way to go. You never want to get pregnant or by some other guy. So, well, not that wasn't an issue at the time.
I personally was done with having children.
Right, so that.
I also knew that I could possibly be talked into having more children, but I knew that I didn't want that to happen.
Oh.
So in order to prevent that forever from happening, I said, I'm done.
Yeah, so she had hers done, and then, years later, probably about, 6-7 years later is when we actually got into the lifestyle, and we were in it for a few years, and there were times where, there was, I don't know if there was really ever a situation. No, there was a situation once where a condom broke, and there was a situation once where it like came off as I was pulling it out and all that kind of stuff. And there are situations where you just aren't, 100% sure about everything. And from the perspective of just my own peace of mind, I got myself snipped. And it was just so that there would never be a situation where this would come up.
Right.
There would never be a situation where, oh my God, because honestly, I've been with a lot of women since we've been in the lifestyle, and I don't know their situations, and some of them are older, and some of them are considerably younger than we are, that probably are still in the process of potentially either having kids in the future or they're having kids
right
now.
And that's the thing, is on the other side of the fence is we are done as a couple, and we do know couples who are the same age as us or younger or whatever that are like, we're never having kids. That's not in our we just don't want kids.
Right.
So they probably got themselves taken care of however they do. But there are younger people out there that are still wanting to eventually someday have kids, or have a couple of kids and might want more someday,
and they'd probably
whatever.
rather have kids with their spouse compared to just some random person that they had sex one night and they honestly didn't even know their name. Yeah. So that's generally a safe bet.
I mean, is it okay to say that if this is such a fear for you, that if you're with a guy and you're like, I cannot get pregnant by this person, and the condom breaks, like, can you go take the after pill? The morning after pill?
You would do that, right?
I would.
Yeah, I think in a heartbeat.
I don't want to run into an issue of being like, oh shit, and imagine how you would feel, and then trying to tell that person or find that person, if that was an issue, or figure out who it was.
Right.
I've been with like 5 people and now I'm, so I mean, I think if it were in my case, I think I would take the morning after pill if I was concerned about that.
Yeah. So from but again, from our own peace of mind, it like I said, you were taken care of, but I just didn't want to run into that. I didn't want to run into, oh my gosh, this could be an issue for years potentially. And I just when I play with a person or people, I want to enjoy myself as much as possible. I don't want to be in a headspace that is going to get me concerned about something or safety or whatever. And as a secondary note, would make myself a bit more flaccid too, because I'm thinking about it, and I don't want that either.
Most people are doubled up for protection in that he's wrapped up and she has taken some prevention. Typically, most women, if you're in the lifestyle, most women are going to be on some sort of birth control, I would think.
Okay.
I would, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think most women would be on birth control. If you were a woman who is not on any kind of birth control, I would think that would be the point where you need to reach out and say, hey, by the way, I am not on birth control. So at that point, the man might be like, you know what, you're really cute, but I'm going to go over here.
Or I'm going to put 3 condoms on.
That might be...
And I'm going to hold my breath when I come so you can't get pregnant. That's how that works.
No, but I think that might be as a way of, like, if that was, like, the norm of if you were a young person who was in their prime of fertilization and still wanting to have babies and not on any kind of birth control because maybe you're trying with your husband or whatever, but you guys still enjoy this lifestyle, I think it's that person's responsibility to let the guy know.
Sure.
Don't you think? I mean, wouldn't you want someone to be like, I really want to go with you. I'm letting you know that I'm not on birth control. the decision is now in your hands, and now you have to make that decision as to whether you are like, condom's good enough, or is a condom good enough?
I'm trying to think what I would do in that situation. Obviously, before I got snipped, before I got fixed, I would say that I probably would still go at, I would still go at it, but I might not come. I might, because I can control that, that I would say, I'm just going to enjoy myself and all the oral things and all that, and a bit of sex, but I'm definitely not going to finish. Right. I know that's not 100% in itself because of pre-cum and all of those things, but as a secondary layer, if I was really paranoid about that, if it was a very fertile time of the month for me.
Well, you're always fertile, maybe.
Well, that's right. If I came 15 times that day already, the odds are not much is coming out.
Bianca, I gotta fuck this woman tonight, and she isn't on birth control. Let's get it all out. Let's get it all. Help me, baby. Help me, baby.
I just want to be shooting blanks all evening. Does that work? Does that work? We are not doctors. Ignore everything that we're saying.
There is, no matter what, when you enter into this hobby, as we like to call it, there are risks. It's not 100% safe. Like, safe's the wrong word. 100%. Like, there are risks.
Sure.
Right? There are risks for everything.
Yeah.
And you know that getting into the lifestyle. And if that is a problem for you to take that leap, to take that risk, then maybe this is not the right lifestyle for you. Or maybe at this time. Or maybe you need to look into, maybe you're not into going to orgies or whatever. Maybe you're more into finding a couple and just you're like monogamous with that couple. You have your little quad or whatever, and that's what you do. And maybe you have rules with them where they have to be monogamous. It's just the four of you. Like, I'm not saying that if this is something that is so freaking you out about the lifestyle, you shouldn't do the lifestyle.
Right.
You can bend and move the lifestyle around to what works for you as a couple. I mean, that is what this is all about. It's finding what works for the two of you. You guys are the most important people in, your relationship. So it needs to work for you. You need to be open and honest with each other, figuring out what you guys want, solidifying that, and then going out to find out what you want, whether it's clubs, whether it's playing together only, soft swap, separately, whatever. I mean, there's a whole rainbow of things that you can do within the lifestyle.
Exactly.
And even if it's just you go to a club just to get the sexy atmosphere and talk to really cool people, like, you can come to the club
have sex with your spouse.
Yeah, you can come to the club and have sex with your spouse and not have sex with anyone else, but still have an amazing time because you've talked to really cool people. You've gotten to wear sexy clothes and dance on the dance floor, take a spin on the pole, like go have sex in a room with other people. A lot of people say, like, you walk in the back and it's like, live porn back there. That's hot to a lot of people. So, you can find, if you're open to having an honest discussion with your partner, you can find what works for you two within the lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I think we've also run into this a little bit when people have asked, like, as far as if the wife is pregnant and she wants to come to the club or go to a house party, whatever it might be, and it's the same. It's the same type of answer. It just kind of boils down to how comfortable you are with the physical situation that you're in,
right?
And only you can answer that.
Yeah.
We all we can do is tell you the stories that we hear and the way that people generally do it, because we do talk to a lot of couples in the lifestyle from every walk of life, from the 18-year-olds to the 70-year-olds, and what they've dealt with. And as a general rule, people are pretty safe and things work out really well in the end. I can't really think of any horror stories about that type of thing, but I'm sure they happen. And so it's one of those things where you just have to think to yourself, what is the best solution for us, and what should we do or not do, and just be as prepared as you can be. That's it. And that again, from my own situation, for my own peace of mind, I got fixed even though I'm not that. I mean, we're the odds of us of me getting you pregnant now are like 1 in a million, or probably way worse than that. I don't even know. Suddenly, you know, some sperm makes it through, or I don't know. Yeah. So it was a really strong sperm. It just
that little swimmer just kept going.
Just broke through my soldering. I don't. I don't know the technical terms for it.
You are really not a doctor.
I am really not a doctor, but I'll gladly play gynecologist with you. Wow.
And on that
note, make sure that you do go to www.clubsapphire.net and check out all the cool events that are happening, that are coming up. We always have a lot this time of year, and as the spring turns into summer and the nights are longer and people tend to come out a little bit earlier, so definitely we've always recommended, you know, get here earlier in the evening before it gets too crowded, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, so that the party can kind of grow around you. And that's good, especially if you are new. So do that. Yeah. So anything else you want to say?
Always come say hi to us. It's so funny. We get so many people who do that. They're like, we saw your video and you said to come say hi, so hi. But here's something else I want to add to that. Don't just say hi and run away. Like, talk to us. Have a conversation with us. It's okay.
Actually, I just got an email from somebody who said that we saw you guys at the takeover in Westport, and they were too shy to come over and say hi to us.
Oh, no. You have to come up and say hi.
How am I supposed to have sex with you if you won't say hi to me? That's very upsetting to me. All right. Well, tk you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.